Je voudrais tout d'abord adresser mes remerciements
I would like, first of all, to express my deep appreciation and thanks.
Mes remerciements au président Yoweri Museveni pour son invitation.
Great thanks to His Excellency President Museveni for his invitation to come and participate in this important celebration.
Nous en sommes très honorés.
We are very much honored
pour participer à cette célébration de 62e anniversaire de l'indépendance de l'Ouganda.
We are indeed very blessed to be present in celebrating the 62nd independence anniversary of his country.
Nous souhaitons donc bon anniversaire, bonne fête de l'indépendance à tout le peuple ougandais sous le leadership du président Yoweri Museveni, qui est le leader incontesté, le leader du panafricanisme, de la lutte contre le colonialisme et le néocolonialisme.
Allow me to specifically thank President Yoweri Museveni for effectively representing the people of Uganda since many years, and to thank the participation of his people in celebrating the 62nd independence anniversary today.
Qui a su transformer l'Ouganda, amener la paix, consolider la réconciliation.
He has indeed transformed Uganda into a good country of national reconciliation.
Nous sommes venus ici parce que c'est un modèle et que c'est un modèle qui nous inspire.
We came here because he is a person that inspires us a lot.
En tout cas, je vous remercie et je souhaite à tout le peuple ougandais
I therefore express my great thanks and great aspirations to all the people of Uganda.
une bonne fête, une bonne célébration.
Happy celebrations
de
and happy
l'indépendance.
feast of
Bonne
independence.
fête à vous tous.
Happy celebrations to all of you.
I want first of all to thank His Excellency President Touadéra.
Je tiens d'abord à remercier infiniment le président Touadéra.
You don't have to translate because he has got this. You can translate these few words, then he has got the speech. I want to thank him for agreeing to join us for these independence celebrations. Yesterday, we had a long discussion in Entebbe, and Central Africa will become a very good trading partner with East Africa. Central African Republic is just after Congo and South Sudan. And together with Central Africa, we want to persuade the government of Congo and the government of South Sudan that we work on the roads from Arua to Isiro in Congo to Obo in Central African Republic. And then we need to persuade the government of South Sudan for a road through Yei, Meridi, Yambio, up to Central African Republic. Then East Africa will be linked by road at least with the Central African Republic and beyond. As we are working on that, I invite the Uganda Airlines to look at the possibility, and our air cargo companies, to look at the possibility of flying to Bangui a few times, even if it is not daily, but some few times, so that we can link up with our brothers there and sisters. Secondly, I want to congratulate General Museveni, the new CDF, for rationalizing the parade. Making it shorter, and you, the politicians, should learn. Talking endlessly about nothing. I want to congratulate the army. Instead of the parade staying there the whole day standing, now they have done their work and they have gone. So I want to congratulate General Muhoozi for bringing that rationality. The old parade, we got it from our brothers, but it is time to reform them. I congratulate them. Muriye mutiye. Muriye mutiye. Habari. Nyinyi wa Wasamia na wa Kenya na wasalimia. Salamu kwa wote. Mwebale muno. I congratulate all Ugandans on this 62nd anniversary of Uganda'S independence. As I've told you many times, at Uganda'S independence, our economy was a typical colonial one, characterized by being an enclave, meaning island economy of 3 C's and 3 T's, as was being described by the colonists themselves. The 3 C's were coffee, cotton, and copper, and the 3 T's were tobacco, tea, and tourism. These formed a small island of modernity and money economy, surrounded by a sea of no money, subsistence economic activities, underdevelopment, and poverty. By 1962, only 9% of the homesteads were in the money economy, which means that a whole 91% were outside the money economy. Being outside the money economy meant poor housing, no education for the children, no clean water, poor nutrition, poor health, and poverty. On account of the wrong ideology of the politics of identity, tribes, religion, and gender chauvinism, the country was divided and unstable. This instability caused the constitutional crisis of 1966 and the Idi Amin coup of 1971. When the ignorant Idi Amin came into government, he expelled one element of our entrepreneurial class, the Asians. And by 1986, when the NRM came to power, the small colonial enclave of the 3 C's and 3 T's had collapsed. Only coffee and tobacco were still limping on. The whole economy had been informalized into magendo, smuggling, chibanda, foreign currency black market, and kusamra speculation. There were acute shortages of the so-called essential commodities. These were sugar, salt, paraffin, soap, textiles, human and veterinary drugs, etc. All these were being smuggled into the country because all the factories and all the former channels of importation had collapsed. Fortunately, having been in the resistance struggle since the 1960s, by this time we had distilled the 3 historical missions which we thought were the mission of the African freedom fighters. These were prosperity, strategic security, and using the brotherhood of the African people to achieve the two. The question was, and still is, did Africans need and deserve prosperity and affluence just like other people in some few places in the world were enjoying by that time or not? Swala lilikuwa Mwafrika anastahili kuwa na maisha mazuri, maisha ya utajiri, au ni lazima abaki kwenye umaskini? Hili lilikuwa swala la kwanza wakati tulikuwa tunaangalia maneno yetu ya hapa. By 1960, the affluence was only in Western Europe, North America, and Japan. Mwaka 1960, sehemu 3 za dunia peke yake ndizo zilikuwa na maisha ya utajiri. Europe Magharibi, North America na Japan. Wengine wote walikuwa kwenye umaskini wakati huo. The rest of the world was in poverty. Our answer to that question was yes, the Africans needed and deserved prosperity and affluence, just like those mentioned above had achieved. Then the next question was, where then does prosperity come from? Utajiri unatoka wapi? Can it come from begging? Omba omba inaweza kuletea utajiri kama nchi au mtu binafsi? The answer was no. Prosperity and affluence can only come from producing a good or a service with a chibaro, ensuring maximum returns, and selling those items sustainably. Jibu letu lilikuwa kwamba utajiri unatokana na kila mtu mzima kushiriki kwenye kuzalisha bidhaa au huduma na kuuza hizo bidhaa na watu kulipa kwa huduma yako ambayo umewatolea. Then the next question was, who will buy the goods or the services you produce? Kama ukisha tengeneza bidhaa au uko na huduma, watu gani ambao watanunua bidhaa hizo? Soko yuko wapi ya bidhaa na huduma unayotoa? This is when our search for prosperity and affluence brought us into collision with the prevailing pseudo-ideology of that time in Uganda and many parts of the world. This was the ideology and the politics of highlighting the importance of identity of tribes, religion, and gender chauvinism. Kawa inanisaidia kwa throat. This was the ideology and the politics of highlighting the importance of identity of tribes, religion, and gender chauvinism. We discovered that in the case of Uganda, people of the same tribe or locality tend to produce similar products and therefore cannot easily buy from one another. Therefore, it was clear that in the case of Uganda, once a zone produced goods and services, the next assistance to the effort of wealth and affluence creation would come from other zones of Uganda, most probably other tribes of Uganda, in the form of buying what was produced. That is how Uganda as a country became very crucial for the wealth creation of the different zones. Wakati nilikuwa nakuja hapa, nisimama hapa karibu kwa makazi ya mwananchi pale karibu, na niuliza watu ambao walikuwa pale wanafanya kazi gani. Watu kama wawili waliniambia kwamba wanafanya biashara ya kuuza mazao. Alafu niliwauliza, mazao mnayotoa wapi? Hapa. Waliniambia kwamba wanatoa mazao Kamwenje. Wanakwenda Kamwenje, wanatoa huko maharagwe, wanakuja wanauza Wakenya huko. Sasa hii ndio siasa ya NRM. Kuzalisha mali, alafu kuuza hiyo mali kwa ndani ya Uganda na kwa Afrika nzima. Kama unaelewa hilo, huu uhusiano uweza kuwa kwenye mambo ya ukabila, mambo ya dini, mambo ya kudharau wanawake na watoto na vijana. Hayo yote ni madhambi ya wanyonyaji. Ndio wanaamini mambo hayo, kwa sababu huyu mtu hapa kilomita, nusu kilomita hapa, nilisimama hapo, utajiri wake unatoka Kamwenje, ndio anatoa maharage. Kwa hiyo watu wa Kamwenje wanamsaidia kibiashara, alafu na yeye anawasaidia kwa sababu anafikisha bidhaa zao, mazao yao kwenye soko la Kenya. That is where prosperity comes from. Prosperity comes from producing a good or a service and selling it. And whoever buys it is contributing to your prosperity. And you are also contributing to his prosperity. We discovered that in the case of Uganda, people of the same tribe or locality tend to produce similar products and therefore cannot easily buy from one another. Therefore, it was clear that in the case of Uganda, once a zone produces goods and services, the next assistance to the effort of wealth and affluence creation would come from other zones of Uganda, most probably other tribes of Uganda, in the form of buying what was produced. That is how Uganda, as a country, became very crucial for wealth creation of the different zones. All the zones, all the tribes, all the religions, all the gender groups of Uganda needed Uganda for their prosperity and affluence. That is how we distilled the first ideological principle of the NRM, patriotism. Love Uganda. Why? It is because you need it for your prosperity. Ndio sababu jambo letu la kwanza kisiasa ni jambo la uzalendo. Lazima upende Uganda kuliko kuangalia makabila na madini na grupu zingine. Sababu gani? Kwa sababu utajiri wako unasaidiwa zaidi na Uganda kuliko kila kabila likijitenga peke yake. However, soon we discovered that even Uganda was not enough. We needed East Africa, and we needed Africa for a bigger market. That's our second principle of Pan-Africanism. Love Africa. Why? It is because you need it for your prosperity. Soko la ndani ya Uganda halitoshi. Soko la Kenya halitoshi wazalishaji mali wa Kenya. Tangu mwaka 64 mfuko wangu, wakati bado niko mtoto wa shule, ulikuwa unasaidia wa Kenya kwa kununua bidhaa kutoka Kenya. Kule kwetu mbali Mbarara walikuwa wanaleta maziwa kwenye karatasi zenye chapa ya KCC, Kenya Cooperative Creameries, or something like that. Kwa hiyo kule Mkenya alikuwa anafaidika kwa mfuko wangu. Mimi nikinunua maziwa ya kutoka Kenya, Mkenya namsaidia, anapata pesa, na Mkenya mwingine anapata ajira, kazi. Ndio sababu unasikia kwamba msingi wa kwanza wa NRM uzalendo, penda Uganda. Sababu gani? Kwa sababu Uganda ndio itakusaidia kwenye shughuli zako za kufanya biashara. Lakini vile vile Uganda haitoshi, lazima upende Afrika. Kwa kizungu tunasema Pan-Africanism. We needed East Africa and we needed Africa for a bigger market. Hence our second principle of Pan-Africanism. Love Africa. Why? This is because you need it for your prosperity. We then realized that you cannot produce modern goods and services if you do not promote socio-economic transformation from the capitalist modes of social organizations. Hence our third ideological principle of socio-economic transformation. Waziri Mile Babalanda alikuwa anaelezea jambo la kufanya kazi za kutumikia tumbo peke yake. Kwa lugha ya Wagwere ambao wanaishi hapa karibu, wanasema okora ekida chonka. Abagwere abasami baloma batya
ohole oholera enda yongane,
oholera enda enda
yongane,
oholera enda
yongane.
Yona ni.
Yes.
Mfuse Musamia. Lakini ile msemo wa Wagwere ndio rais kwangu. Okore chida chonka. Tena kwenye Japadora wanasemaji, najua kwa Achori, teach me each keken. Japadora wanasemaji, kuna Mjapadora hapa? Where is my talkative girl? Opendi. Who? Like actually, you go and tell us on the microphone. Good for his exercise.
Your Excellency, it is teach Maijokende.
Very good.
Even in Acholi, we understand the same.
Very good. So the Acholi version is the one I have mastered. Teach me each keken. So, tukizungumzia NRM kushughulikia jambo la masoko, soko la Uganda kutengeneza barabara, kutengeneza umeme, kuleta amani, tuweze kuwa na shwari kwa nchi yote. Bila wewe kugeusha maisha yako, unaweza kukosa fursa hii. Ndio tunasema kila mmoja lazima ajifunze dasturi ya kushughulikia mambo ya chakula, lakini vile vile vitu vya kumletea pesa mfukononi. Na wamesikia Mariam alikuwa anasema bado watu wengi wako kwenye hali ya kutumikia tumbo peke yake, na baadaye nitakuja kujigusia. Therefore, our third ideological principle is social economic transformation. Lazima mugeushe maisha yenu, mtoke kwenye hali ya kutumikia tumbo peke yake, mwe kwenye hali ya kutumikia tumbo na kitu cha kuweka mfukoni. The final ideological principle we distilled was democracy, so that the people are able to hold their leaders accountable for their actions or inactions. The second historical mission we distilled was strategic security. Can Uganda, acting alone, ensure its strategic security? Or do we need regional and continental efforts? We have analyzed this issue in different documents, and our views on this are well known. We must be following the developments in the world, where some actors are aiming at achieving what they call four-dimensional superiority. Superiority in land forces, superiority in the air, superiority at sea, and superiority in space. Where does that leave Africa? Can Uganda, acting alone, even when it becomes a developed country, be present decisively in these four dimensions? However, the African Pan-Africanists have been telling you that an East African Federation or any comparable political integration unity in other parts of Africa can. These Pan-Africanists have been W.B. Du Bois, Marcus Garvey, Sylvester Williams, Kwame Nkrumah, Sekou Toure, Modibo Keita, Mwalimu Nyerere, Louis Rwagasore, Aman Abed Karume, Kenneth Kaunda, and others. Kwenye mambo ya usalama kwa jumla, kujilinda kutokana na hatari za aina yote, sisi tulikuwa tunafundisha watu wetu kwamba Afrika inapaswa kufanya pamoja. Tukifanya hivyo ndio taweza kuleta amani. Mnasikia hii fujo yote ambayo iko kwenye bara la Afrika. Wakati tunashirikiana tunafaulu. wakati tulishirikiana wakati wa ukoloni, tulishinda wazungu Mozambique, Angola, Zimbabwe, Namibia, South Africa. Kwa kushirikiana tuliwashinda kivita. Kwa hiyo matatizo mnavyosikia Afrika ambayo bado yapo ni kwa sababu kosa moja ni kwa kutashirikiana. Ndio nimefurahi kuona rais wa Central African Republic kuja hapa kusudi tuzungumzie mambo ya kushirikiana kwenye mambo ya aina mbalimbali ikiwemo usalama. The third historical mission that we distilled was the similarity and linkages among the now 1.5 billion people of Africa. You always hear stories of the parasites, of how Africans are divided among tribes that are always fighting one another, etc., etc. The NRM, being the force of wealth creators, right from the beginning, held in contempt these positions. In reality, the now 1.5 billion people of Africa belong to 4 linguistic groups. The Niger-Congo, those are the Bantu and the Kwa, the Nilo-Saharan, the Afro-Asiatic, and the Khoisan. Besides, you find linkages among these groups, like I was amazed to find that the Somali word for cow is Sa. The Bantu dialects of this area call cow dung Sa, Obusa, Amasa, you know that very well. Yet the Somali language would be a part of the Nilo-Saharan, while the Bantu dialects belong to the Niger-Congo. Above all, our ancestors at the coast of East Africa developed for us the neutral, non-tribal Swahili language that can easily unite East and Central Africa, if not beyond. It is therefore feasible to use the similarities and linkages among the 1.5 billion Africans on the continent to achieve powerful economic and, in some cases, even political integration to ensure our prosperity and guarantee our strategic security. Hapo sisi watu wa NRM mu Ruganda bagamba nti tuzimula. Tunaona kama na aibu watu ambao hawaone uhusiano wakati wa Afrika na umoja wao. Hapa Uganda kuna Wasamia, Kenya kuna Wasamia. Kuna Waluo hapa Kenya, kuna Waluo wa kwetu, Wajapadora, Wacholi, Walangi. Wateso wako huko, Wateso wako Uganda, Bagisu na Baria wengine. Kwa nini watu wa Afrika hawatumia umoja huo kushughulikia shida zao? Hii ndio line ya NIM, kutumia undugu kushughulikia mambo ya utajiri na mambo ya usalama. Bahati nzuri tuko hata na lugha ya Kiswahili ambayo haina mwenyewe. It is not a tribal language. With the 4 ideological principles and the 3 historical missions, we have been able to achieve progress in 5 phases. These phases were the minimum economic recovery to bring back the small colonial island of the 3 C's and the 3 T's. Phase 1. Phase 2, expanding the small island of the money economy. Phase 3, diversifying the economy. Phase 4, adding value to the raw materials and promoting industrialization. And 5, entering the knowledge economy. We were able to revive the production of tea that had sunk to 3 million kilograms from 23 million kilograms of 1970. Bring back tourism, bring back cotton production, and we are working on reviving and upgrading the production of copper. We did not only revive the production of these products, but expanded them as follows. Coffee from 2 million bags to now 9 million bags. Tea from 3 million bags to 60 million kilograms. 3 million kilograms to 60 million kilograms. Tourism from earning $17 million of 1970 to $1.5 billion of the pre-COVID time. We have diversified, going away from the colonial deception of having what they called cash crops and non-cash crops. This is what Mariam was talking about. We told our people that anything that is used by society on a large scale can be a cash product. Hence, maize, milk, cassava, beef, bananas, fruits, forest products, etc. are now cash products. These products deal with the import substitution and expanding our exports. We realized that the big problem of Africa and the other colonies has been the issue of producing only raw materials. This has been a disaster for Africa. Uganda may get $2.5 kilogram per kg, per kilo, for bean coffee. The same kilogram, roasted, turned into coffee powder, and packed outside, may fetch $40. As a consequence of this, from the global coffee value of $460 billion, the coffee growing countries of the world are sharing only $25 billion, and Africa only $2.5 billion. Germany, a non-coffee growing country, earns $65 billion, more than all the coffee growing countries of the world. This is how the colonies and the new colonies have been donating money, jobs, and development energies to Europe and North America. Therefore, we have been deliberately taking steps to end this betrayal by African leaders to Africa. Mambo ya kuuza raw materials, ekigambo kye nakozesa eri mu Kampala ekifaanana nga kino kyali kya omuntu okutunda amabidde. Nannyini lusuku alina amabidde, mu kifo ky'okusogola omubisi n'ajjamu omwenge, ayinza n'okwongeramu n'afumba n'ajjamu kali akabatira ddala. Mpulira nti mukaagala nnyo ako, nze sikakwatako, gye myaka 8 gye mulaba akantu ako. Naye kati oli bw'atunda amabidde, emigaso gyonna egidirira mu ssente gitwalibwa abalala. Yensonga ffe abaanaremu tubagamba nti totunda amabidde, weesogolera omubisi, ogyemu omwenge, oba oli wakukola kali akatira ddala abantu bakakole, naye ogyemu kinene, ogyemu ekyomugaso kyonna. Kati wakati tunakuja kwenye kahawa ulimwenguni, thamani ya kahawa bilioni. Kati olaba no mu Luswahili naluletaga obuyambi. Abaswahili tebalina bigambo ebimu ng'ebyaffe eno. Kama sisi watu wa bara ubu bilioni tujiita akawumbi kati value mu Luganda bajogera batya value omuwendo gw'emwanyi mu nsi yonna buli bumbi 406 naye kwezo obumbi 406 ensi zonna ezirima emwanyi Brazil naffe ffenna tugabanako obumbi 25 bwokka. Murize obutemu buli awo. Omuwendo gw'omwanyi mu nsi yonna obumbi 406 naye ffe abalima emwanyi tugabanako obumbi 25 bwokka. Abafirika bambi bo bagabanako obumbi 2.5 ate kwezo obukadde 9 bujja wano mu Uganda kubanga Uganda tuli mu emwanyi nyingi. Kati niwasanga ensi nga Germany etalima mwanyi bo bafuna obumbi 65 okuva mu mwanyi. Lwetalo lwemuwulira abalala lwebajereka nti ffe abaana ba NRM tetusobola kukkiriza ekyo. Tulina okukalanga emwanyi zaffe, tulina okuzisa, tulina okuziteeka mu bupapula ffe ffennyini. Bwe tukola ekyo mu kifo kya ekiro okutuweereza $2.5 oyinza kujja mu biliyoni 25 dola 25 oba okusingawo. Naye ate ebweriyo bo bayinza kujjamu dola 40. In spite of the opposition, we have succeeded in some items such as milk. Kati bw'otunula ku mata awo tulemeddewo. Amata gonna okugajja mu kiraalo ogatuukira ddala ku mmeeza twagongeramu omugaso. Maziwa yote ya Uganda tunaipitisha kwenye viwanda kutengeneza maziwa, kuyasafisha, kuyapatia maisha marefu na kutoa vitu vingine ambavyo vinatoka kwenye maziwa, by products. Therefore, we have moved on the milk, textiles, tin, cement, wood products, maize, gold, cassava, etc. We shall cover the entire spectrum of the raw materials. Our next target is coffee, copper, and iron ore. We are developing a complete vertically integrated program of these items. Finally, we have entered the knowledge economy of automobiles, vaccines, pharmaceuticals, computer assembling, and eventually manufacturing. Oba bakita screen bagita batya mu Luganda. Muyinza kutulaga emotoka zaffe ez'ejjinja. Abaana Uganda kati mukola motoka. Ku Lutimbe sekere kwe motoka zaffe oba mubale mu lugambo temulese bwino temulina kwogera bwe munagifuna muziteekeko kati baganda bamwe bakola motoka emotoka zebakola twazituma erinnya Kiyiira omuga gwa Nairo. All in all, we are first of all to tackle the mistake of allowing big sections of our population to remain outside the money economy. Abakorere chida chonka, working only for the stomach. According to the latest census data, finally 67% of our people are in the money economy. It is 33% that are still outside the money economy. Kati okuva mu kaweefube ezibaddewo eza NADS, General Sare Wealth Creation, kati ne PDM, kati kigambibwa nti amaka 67 ku buli 100 kati gayingidde mu kukola ssente. Naye tukyalina amaka 33 ku buli 100 agakyajeemye. Makazi ambayo yameingia kwenye shughuli za kufanya pesa sasa ni 67%, lakini hiyo inamaanisha kwamba bado kuna 33 ya makazi ambao wako nje ya shughuli za kufanya pesa. Tena unachiona kama hapa wakati nakuja kwa ndege unaona ardhi nzuri lakini hamfanye shughuli za kufanya pesa. Nitarudi Bukedi na sehemu zingine kuangalia ili jambo. Nitarudi ngenda koma okuyomba namwe kuro kongola kuro chimukongola ni mbere bali atene mwesera nimutenyigira mukaweefube okukola sente nemulera obwavu mumaka gamwe. On account of these measures, it is estimated that by the end of June 2025, of the end of this financial year, the economy of Uganda will be $57.57 billion by the exchange rate method and $163.3 billion by the PPP method, even before we start getting our oil out of the ground. With the vigorous implementation of all the phases mentioned above, we shall grow the GDP to 500 billion. This brings me now to the following crucial words I have been putting forward to you recently. These are development and Kurakurana, wealth of Gaga, service provision, health, education, security, crime, etc. of Wereza, and jobs, emirimu. Bwenakomawo tugenda okwogera ku bigambo ebina enkulakulana, obugagga, obuweereza n'emirimu. Bwe mbadde nzija wano nzije ku luguudo olulungi lwetwakola okuva enamayingo lulungi ddala luli awo naye bwembadde ntunula bali y'oluguudo mbadde ndabawo obwavu bukyaliwo kati obwavu okuliraana n'enkulaakulana si kyamagezi kubanga obwavu bubwo ng'omuntu enkulaakulana ya ffenna oluguudo lwa ffenna essomero lino eriri wano ly'abantu bonna naye obwavu buli mu makaago naye ffe tugezako kyonna ekisoboka okubayamba muve mu bwavu obwo ate bwe mukola eby'obugagga bye bizaala emirimu bw'oba olunda embizi oba enkoko bugagga bwa muntu naye ogenda kusanga omuntu oyo akozesa abantu 10 mu faamu egyo ekitegeeza nti obugagga bwa gundi buzadde emirimu singa abantu bangi bakola ekyo tugenda kusanga emirimu gisinga abantu obungi kyekyo kyemusanga Japan kubanga Japan bali obukadde 127 naye abafrika bagenda eno bakube ekyeyo emirimu mingi okusinga aba Japan omuntu ava eno nasanga waliwo emirimu etalina agikola nemukuba ekyeyo yembeera nyina ndyagadde mukole abasobola bwe basobola okwenyigira mu byobugagga bagenda okukola emirimu ate emirimu egenda kusinga abantu obungi public service jobs are only 470,000. The majority of jobs, therefore, must be in the private sector. Already manufacturing is employing 1.2 million people. Services, 5 million people. And yet, this is just the beginning. This is the general message of the NRM. Si kituufu okulowooza nti gavumenti yegenda okukozesa abantu bonna kubanga emirimu gya gavumenti gimanyiddwa ow'omuluka ali omu ow'egombolwa ali omu DC ali omu omubaka wa constituency wa parliament ali omu ne bwogenda ku basomesa waliwo ekibalo omubudde obwaffe omusomesa omu yasomesanga abaana 40 kati bangambye tugiyita teacher people ratio bangambye nti kati mwakiteekako omusomesa omu eri abaana 50 bwe twaggalawo olwa korona abaana abagenda mu byalo baali obukadde 15 kati bw'otwala ku kibalo kiri ekya 55 ogenda kusanga nti abasomesa abeetaagibwa bali 3,000 n'olwekyo emirimu egyo tegimala abasomesa abasawo abaserikale abapoliisi tegimala emirimu emingi muwulidde kati mu buweereza services already bakozesa abantu 5,000,000 ekyo nakyo tukitangalemu tuleme okwonoona obudde ate abakulembeze nabo baguumaaza abantu ne batabanyonyola bulungi Regarding the immediate plans for boosting the economy, I must mention the issue of the railways, the old meter gauge that is being repaired, and the new standard gauge railway that will go from Maraba to Kampala and Kasese, as well as going from Tororo to Lira, Guru, Nimure. With our petroleum resources, we are going to fund all this. The importance of the railway is to lower transport costs. This makes it easier for business to make profits. We are already handling electricity. With the low cost of production, Uganda becomes more attractive to business operators. They make profits more easily. Therefore, the people of the East rise up and take advantage of the government programs of PDM, Emyoga, Grow, etc. to join the money economy. The government has arranged for the rest: peace, infrastructure, the markets, etc. I cannot end this address without again emphasizing the importance of the African economic and political integration in whatever we are doing in regard to the two historical missions: prosperity for the African people and the strategic security. All patriots and Pan-Africanists in Uganda should link up with our brothers and sisters in Africa to work for the economic integration of the whole of Africa and the economic and political integration of East Africa, leading to the political federation of East Africa. Muongee na hao Wasamia kutoka Kenya na Wajaruo na Wakikuyu, tufanye muungano wa East Africa ambaye wazee wamekuwa wanapigania na mimi nimekuwa napigania kwa sehemu kubwa ya maisha yangu. That is what will be the insurance and guarantee for Africa's prosperity and strategic security. Otherwise, we are building a Latin America in Africa, and the sort of stagnation and misery you see in Latin America is already visible here. We are most pleased to have the visitors from the Central African Republic. His Excellency, mumpigie makofi. The Republic of Liberia, our daughter, the former Vice President, and our ndugu zetu wa Kenya, kutoka Kenya. Wa Kenya mnakaribishwa. Thank you for coming to join us. We are always ready for the Pan-African's effort of integrating Africa economically and in some cases politically. I thank everybody. Thank you very much.